everybody. What's up? I thought you was putting the middle finger, girl. Like, what is going on? Hi, guys. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode. Yes.
Another
what episode is? I think it's a season 5, episode 4 of the Sister to Sister Connection talk show. I'm Leticia. My girl over here is Miss Twonta Jones, Miss Davis is Finasty, and we do this show every single Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We talk about some hard-hitting topics. We talk about some emotional topics. We talk about some heavy topics. We talk about some topics that's going to help you get through your day. And we just put everything out here on the floor, on this show. Where, this is a super transparent show. This is not a gossip channel at all. This channel is going to help you get your life together as a woman. All women. This show is for all women. Hey, LaShawn, how are you, love? So listen, if you are a live viewer, I want to make this point. We do giveaway. We do a little giveaway every single show. When Therese lets me know, I will give you the hashtag to put in so you could participate. And also, we have a brand new segment of the show called What's News. Yes, what's news? And we got some juicy talk about with you guys when it comes to what's news. So definitely hang out for that. We do self-care events every single month. We just did our last self-care event last Saturday, and it was
It was awesome.
LaShawn, she's in the chat. She was there, honey. We got our lives together, honey. Twonta leads our self-care event. We're going to be doing another one later this February. I think the last Saturday of this month. So make sure you get inside of our group, bit.ly/Sister to Sister Connection. So that way you can learn more about it. But we're going to give you guys more information next week so that way you can sign up and get your life. Okay. And we have our afterglow. Okay. What is the afterglow, honey? The afterglow is something that we do after the show. Okay. Yes. After the show. It's like when you go to church and then y'all have the after church, honey, and you got the food there, honey. You get to let the kids run around and all that stuff. And that's when y'all gossip about, who's doing anyway. So we don't do that. We don't gossip. No.
We don't gossip.
We don't gossip in the afterglow show. In the afterglow, that show that we do is offline. We don't record or anything like that. Teresa's going to be sharing the Zoom link in the chat with you guys just a second, so you could copy, paste it, and save it, because it's always the same link every week. So when we're done with the show, we hop on and skip on over there, okay? And we get more deep into the topic of conversation. This is where you guys can just open up, ask Twonta and I for some advice. We support each other. We get in there and we talk and we freaking chat it up. Okay? So that's something another new thing that we add to build more connection with you guys as the viewers. We got so much going on, child. Listen.
We do.
We got so much going on because we love y'all. We love y'all. We love you guys who come on and watch us. We love you guys who come on and support the channel. We love you guys so much. So tonight, honey, somebody done got my sister mad, honey, and I'm just like, listen. That's why I got my hair in the bun today.
You're like, all right, come on now.
Who did it?
Girl.
Who needs to be handled? Okay.
Come on.
And that's why Twonta got her ponytail, honey, because last week she was all like, ooh. This week she got the ponytail going, honey. She got the little grease on her forehead. Listen, we going to get dirty today, okay? Because when somebody, hey, so shut up. Yes. I love me some Yana, honey. I'm calling her Yana this year, honey. That's my Shana Yana sister. Okay. I used to have Shoshana Cuevas. I used to have that introduction. I'm calling her Yana. Yana. Yes. So somebody done bothered my sister. Got her. Listen, we're going to talk about it today. And I know that tonight's conversation is something that you all can relate to. And not the
Girl, I'm looking. I'm like, wait a minute now. I know. Come on with it.
Girl, I just play. Your voice, it's nice and matte. Like mine. Mine is like matte.
But I get what she's saying, though, because
listen. Back in the day, if you came up to the block with a greasy forehead, that means somebody about to get popped. Okay, get them running, honey.
Oh Lord.
But yeah, so tonight's topic, I'm gonna let Twonta kick it off, and we're gonna get into it, guys, and we're gonna jump into it. So definitely, join us for the ride today. Go ahead,
Mhm.
Twonta.
Listen, y'all, I had a very ooh, yeah, I had a moment a couple of days ago, and it was not pretty and it was not fun. It was annoying more than anything. And then, of course, it just led to frustration and all of that. And I dealt with this not once, not twice, but many times through the course of my life. Okay. And I won't get in deep, deep detail, but I'll give you enough to just say that after a while, you realize that when a person does certain things and they really don't think smart or be wise about it, if you don't get out of that person's world, you're going to be collateral damage. Okay, you're going to be collateral damage. And I had enough of that. I had enough of that. And so we are going to be talking about this tonight because I know I am not the only sister out there that has been a collateral damage to somebody's foolery, ignorance, bull crap. I won't say that, but you know what I'm saying. And this is the time that we definitely need to talk about some stuff, right? We don't want to be a victim from someone else's negligence. And that is this real talk right there. And I think a lot of us have witnessed that with other people. We have seen it in our own family, okay? And that probably is still going on, right? Because we go ahead and trust people and we give them the benefit of the doubt and all this other stuff. But at the same time, we know that this quick, abrupt decision and their behavior and their narcissistic stupidity, it can cause some real damage. So we're going to get down and we're going to talk about this tonight. So this is not the time for none of us to really hide behind our feelings or emotions. This is the time to really vocalize your experience if you have been a collateral damage to somebody's foolishness, or if you know of someone, maybe it was your mom that was collateral damage, maybe it was a sibling, maybe it was your best friend, but you seen it, you witnessed it, you probably was victim to it. Okay, this ain't the time for us to just sit back and just enjoy the conversation. This is the time for all of us to really go ahead and vocalize. This is the last time that I'm going to have anybody. And girl, let me tell you, Leticia.
What happened?
Do you know I this is not just my life, and we talked about this some time ago about generational, curses or generational
Mhm.
patterns.
Absolutely, yeah.
Do you know that this has been going on my mother's side since my grandmother?
Wow. It has to
And
stop.
also,
It has to stop. And for those of you who don't know what we're talking about, we're going to get into it, y'all. We're going to get into all
yes,
the things because each and every one of you on here can absolutely relate to just plain old foolery, conscious foolery. When people know
girl,
what
woo,
they should know, but they don't know. Okay,
they
but
don't.
they acting like they don't know. They be at the acting like they don't know.
Oh my God.
So yeah, so we're gonna get into these points. So you want to bring up the first one, have Therese bring up the first point here. Shout out to our producer Therese. Mm-hmm.
Hey, Therese, what's
Oh,
up?
Therese, is the giveaway before we jump into the first? Is the giveaway ready, Therese? So we can have everybody put in their hashtag, honey, because we're gonna get into it
Oh
today.
yes,
So we ain't gonna keep
yes.
reminding y'all to put in that hashtag. If I don't care if it's two people, honey, we just gonna let the system do
We
what it
gonna
do,
do. We gonna do
and
the
we
do.
gonna
We
somebody
gonna
gonna
do
win.
the do.
Okay, if LaShawn wins 3 times in a row, honey, I'm gonna fall out because she won
Come on
twice in
with
a
it.
row last week. Okay, so the giveaway is up. So again, what you guys are going to win today is a free coffee mug. Okay, if you type in the word hashtag sister to sister connection, that's hashtag sister to sister connection, you're gonna get this cute mug, and it comes
Yeah.
in several colors. It comes in pink, which you guys see here on the screen. Okay, it comes in baby blue, honey. It
Oh,
comes in orange,
favorite.
red. Yes. And I think
Love it.
one more color, but I can't remember off the top of my head. But you get to choose your color
Yeah.
of our official Sister to Sister Connection coffee mug. Okay, so put in
Mhm.
hashtag Sister Connection in the chat right now. If you don't put in the chat, listen, don't put in the chat on the replay and ask you why your name. It doesn't. Somebody did that last week, Twan. That's why I had to, let people
Mhm.
know in the pews out there and
Oh
over here,
yeah, babe.
all the way in the back. Who would be talking in the back and not hearing all the church announcements.
Mhm.
You is if you're on the replay right now, you have to attend the live show to participate in the giveaway. Okay,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
saying, it don't work like that, honey. It don't swing back and then come back around. Okay,
Right.
you gotta get, you gotta get on the show, live show. Yes, adding that sister to Sister Connection. Hey, Diane, how are you? All
What's
right.
up,
So,
honey guy?
hey, love. So, Teresa, if you could bring back up that first point, because I'm gonna have my girl Twonta go in. I mean, go in, honey. We're gonna be windmilling tonight, so hope y'all ready.
Mhm.
We want
So
all of us
yeah,
to windmill together.
so here's the first topic, ladies. Number one, don't stand on someone's foundation when it's not stable.
Right.
Okay. And what I mean by that is that, you have people, that have this abrupt plan, and they go ahead and they make things, try to make things happen. And, due to pressure, peer pressure, they haven't really thought things through. They haven't really consulted with anyone, or first of all, they haven't consulted with God first and foremost, but they haven't really been smart. They just want to go ahead and make things happen, because they feel as though they have, that privilege to always try to be the fix it person, right? So, of course, they want you to support that. They want you to just, be there to back them up and all of these things. So, being as though if you have been through this repetitive, foolishness for several times in the relationship, whether it's professional, whether it's, personal or what have you, the whole routine. You know how they operate. You know that 9 times out of 10 is not going to last. That foundation that they have created or what they're trying to produce, shortly after that, it's not going to stabilize. It's not going to be solid. It's not going to be strong. It's going to be weak. And here's the thing: when it falls down, guess what? Everybody that is part of that whole situation will fall right along with it. Right. And that's where the collateral damage comes in. So if you are one of those individuals where you have been in relationships with people where I mean, they mean well, but at the same time, they're not really being smart with their choices, with their decisions, and especially if they have not been, open in terms of sharing the ideas or the thoughts or the plans to other people or to you personally or whatever. They just expect you just be there. Just, you don't have to know everything in full detail or whatever. Or better yet, they will probably say something crazy like, well, listen, you don't like to talk about stuff like this anyway, so I took it upon myself to just go ahead and do what I need to do because I need to do this in order for us to survive, or order for us to move forward, and all these things, and have you looking crazy. And you know what I'm
And,
saying?
and,
So
and they put the blame on you. It's your fault.
exactly,
Girl.
exactly. So you don't want to go through that same mess over and over and over again, because you've seen it before, you witnessed it before. And if you are a victim of that, you know how it made you feel, you know how it hurted you, and you may have verbally expressed your concern or your frustration to that individual, and that person probably still did not quite understand or felt, sincerely apologetic, or what have you. They just only thought about themselves because they don't want to look bad. They don't want to look like the bad guy or whatever, whatever their crazy, brain, fart brain, whatever you want to call it. They don't really care. Okay. You may come to them crying like, why the world did you do this? Why did you do that? They still don't get it. They still don't get it. So just look at this, ladies. Don't stand on someone's foundation. If you have been in relationships before, you know how rocky relationships are. If you haven't been the victim of it, you have seen other people. and you see people in relationships, and you see that person that's been manipulative, that's been, really tricky, that's been, really conniving or whatever, that's who they are, and you see that that's not going to last, and you try to warn that other person, like, girl, you need to open up your eyes, or sister, girl, you need to, you need to probably rethink about that partnership or what have you. And they don't, they may not listen. So unfortunately, they will fall prey to that situation. So again, please do not stand on someone's foundation when it's not stable, because I'm telling you, it gets worse. It gets worse. I'm telling you, one time, the second time, three times is out. But if you keep on staying in and staying in, I'm telling you, it doesn't get any better. It doesn't get any better. What do you think, Leticia?
Sorry about that. I feel like we just compromise too much. I think that we compromise too much. I think we give way too many chances. I think we let things sweep under the rug, and we remain quiet, just to avoid arguments. And people will get into a point where they are going to do things and say things and make decisions without consulting you, because they may feel, hey, Mavina, hey, that you're just going to conform, right? And you're just going to be that, rock in their foundation. You know what I'm saying? Because again, people do what they do because they do what they do, and
Mhm.
we have to get to a point in our lives where, standing up for ourselves and speaking our voice is something that we should constantly self advocate for ourselves on a consistent basis, because standing on someone else's foundation, especially as we said down below, if it's not stable, that is not a good thing. It's not a good thing. You're always going to be disappointed. You're
Yeah.
always going to be short-handed.
Yeah.
I mean, you made a good point, Twonta, when you said that, oh, I just, the person's saying, I just made a decision because you may not wanted to talk about it, or something like that, like literally
Mhm.
just put, manipulating the situation and putting a finger back on you. I want you guys to type in me in the comments right now, and type in me in the comments, and just type in me if you ever had that situation where you felt that the tables got turned on you, where you felt
Mhm.
that you've been slightly manipulated.
Mhm.
You're on that other end of
Mhm.
the spectrum where you're like, wait a minute,
Mhm.
what I said is not really what this person's saying that I meant, or wait a minute, this person took an action that possibly could hurt us or did hurt us, and they say they did it because they turned it around on me.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, there's so many levels of manipulation, and people, especially in this day and age, are becoming professionals at it. You
Woo,
may be
girl.
dealing right now with an expert manipulator that may not ever change. You just got to know when to build those
And don't
barriers
apologize
mentally.
either.
Yeah, don't apologize, but
They
build
don't
those.
know how to
I
say
think
I'm
the
sorry.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that helped me was building the mental barriers to say, even though I'm getting this person saying this information or painting this narrative, this is how
Mhm.
the reality is. Because thinking about manipulation is that somebody's manipulating out of the reality of what's really true,
Mhm.
right? And
Mhm.
either they do it through your, like for me, they'll do it, my example, trigger words that trigger you to get you all act, upset, and then you just start
Exactly.
thinking about your the truth of the matter or the reality of the situation, right?
Mhm.
I mean, it can
Mhm.
be through so many different layers here. So this is
Mhm.
why you guys have to constantly have those mental boundaries, because trying to fight and advocate for personal respect, like getting that person to
Mhm.
respect you, may never
Mhm.
happen, because you can't control people. You can't get somebody to respect you who possibly don't have respect for themselves, and that's probably why they're treating you the way they are treating you, right? But the point is for you to have those mental barriers, so that way you are
Mhm.
not going crazy, and
Yeah.
you're not thinking that you're crazy, and you're
Right.
not stepping away from the reality of the situation. Okay.
Mhm. Mhm.
Okay, and now going into be another rock in somebody else's foundation, which is not stable. Okay, so you may be dealing with somebody who may be dormant in manipulation right now. Everything's fine, everything's peachy, rainbows, you know,
Mhm.
balloons and stuff like that, and they'll pick that right time to give you that right hook.
Yeah, and
To
especially, you
shake
know what,
things up.
ladies?
Go ahead.
Yeah, especially you got to be careful with those individuals that, when they do so much and, they are in a tight bind or in a tight situation, they still trying to find another way out. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, they hustling, they just still trying to find another way out to, rob Peter to pay Paul, to take care
Mhm.
of all the other debts. But yet here it is, they make a huge, huge jump, not
Yeah.
really thinking long haul,
Right.
but yet knowing that this situation is eventually going to bite them in the behind. And again,
Exactly.
those who are a part of that circle, a part of that situation, even though they did not agree, again, more likely they will be collateral damage to
Yeah,
that, to
you're
the
gonna,
person
you're gonna
decision.
get the effects of that. You're gonna feel the
Exactly.
effects of that. You're gonna deal with the crying on the shoulders, the after effect, because that person can just disconnect and escape. Go,
Yeah.
leave the house, go up the road, and things like that. You have to deal with the repercussions of that. And I know it's hard, ladies, but I feel like in those moments you find ways to just build yourself up and have a way to where you're building up a life where you, even if that person's unstable, you're good.
Hmm.
You're good.
Hmm.
However long that's going to take. For some of you, it may take 1 year, 2 years, 6 months. It may take you 10 years. But building on that, because those situations will come up again. We always sometimes fool ourselves into thinking like, oh, one day he's going to get
Right.
it right, or one day she's going to get it right. When No, baby.
Hmm.
Mm-mm,
Hmm. Hmm.
mm-mm.
And I'm
Now
glad
it
you.
has
I'm
to
sorry.
say you
Hmm.
don't want to. You are the fool, but you don't want to play the fool forever, right?
Woo, come on, girl.
Mm-hmm.
That is so true.
Yes.
That is
Yes.
so true. You
Y'all better
play me
put some
once,
money in my
play me
cup, honey.
twice.
That was a preachy about putting them in this cup.
Come on, I got my right on, got my right on.
I'm
Okay.
playing.
You fooled me once, fooled me twice, three times. No
Because
more.
that's the
No
effect.
more.
Because just imagine you telling a friend this, and you spend 1 year, 2 years, 5 years. They're gonna say, "Girl, what are you gonna do? You've been
Mm-hmm.
telling me this for 10 years. What are you gonna do?"
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Mm-hmm.
only saying that because I've learned that through therapy. One day I was literally sitting on under the toilet in my bathroom, crying,
Mm-hmm.
crying.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Called my therapist. Oh my God, he did this, he did that. And she's like, okay, what are you gonna do to make yourself feel better? Because right
Mm-hmm.
now you're upset. You have every right to be upset. You have a
Mm-hmm.
right. But what are you gonna do right now to make
Mm-hmm.
you're under a toilet right now? What are you gonna do
Yeah.
right now
Yeah.
to make yourself happy? So I had to transition,
Mm-hmm.
and all of you
Mm-hmm.
guys can do that.
And I'm glad you had said something earlier
Right.
about triggers. You
Yes,
know,
yes,
so I
yes.
want to throw that question out to the audience. What are
Mhm.
your triggers?
Yes. What are
What
your
is?
triggers?
Mm-hmm.
Great question, Tawanta. Great
Mm-hmm.
question. What are your
Mm-hmm.
triggers, guys? We all have them.
Mm-hmm.
We all have them.
We
My
do. We
triggers
do.
is saying things that I didn't say,
Mm.
or what I did say, you are projecting it in a different way that I meant.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
saying my one of my other triggers is, oh, you always want to argue. I didn't even yell.
Girl,
All I said was what happened. You always want to argue. That's another trigger.
thank you.
Because a lot of people don't understand what arguing is. I grew up where arguing was real. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about
Mm-hmm.
windmilling. I'm talking about dragging, all that stuff. And when people say,
Mm-hmm.
you're always
Mm-hmm.
arguing, I go back to that point. You're trying to say I'm like them,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm not like them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You're trying to
Mm-hmm.
say that I'm like that, and I'm not like that. So that's
Mm-hmm.
that's like quick trigger for me to be like, what?
Yeah. Yeah.
What are your
Yeah.
triggers, sis? Y'all say what your triggers are in the comments. Y'all bring them on in. Sometimes we just need to get off that merry-go-round. That's right. Ooh, y'all know what a
Mhm.
merry-go-round is? You ever been on a merry-go-round, honey? You just spin it, honey. You just you just spin it, spin it. It's hard to get off a merry-go-round when
And
it's
you always think that
going.
that ride is going to take you in a whole different
Nope, it's just
location,
going
but
in one
it's
circle after
girl,
another after another. Girl, Melvina, you should have been on the show tonight, honey. You should
shot.
have been on the show. You girl, we could end the show on that right there. That's it. That's a word right there.
That's a word.
You need to
That's a
get off of
word.
it, honey. You ain't going nowhere, sis, other than a circle. You started right back at the starting line. You go over here. That was good, girl. That touched me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That touched my
I'm
soul.
serious. A lot of us are still on that merry-go-round, child, looking
Nina
all
got her
cute
belt
and
out
pretty.
tonight, honey. She's sitting there with that Levi belt talking about, yeah, get off that bagger. Listen,
Girl.
she ain't playing tonight.
Okay.
Yes. What are y'all triggers, guys? Say in the chat, what are y'all triggers? What is
What
something
are
that
your
if
triggers?
somebody said it to you, you be like,
Mm-hmm. 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 Mm-hmm.
yes. What are y'all triggers?
Always saying what when you are talking to the person.
Oh, I had a supervisor that was like that. I would go in her office
Really?
and I'd be like, I forgot, I think her name was Jessica. She's like, what? I swear to God, Twonta, what? I'm like, I ain't what? What? I'm like, girl, Twonta, I wanted to smack her across her face, like backhand her. Yeah, like, girl, calm down. Like, if you don't want nobody to come in your office, close your door. Like, it's not that serious.
Diane said, my trigger, I hope or want to see some improvement. Newsflash, yet I'm the first person that you ask for help. Ooh.
Somebody said they hope and want to see some improvement in you, but always ask you for help. Wow.
Wow. That's
They the one needs to improve. They always said that's a person who project. They're projecting on you. That's all that is. That's all that is. I had that situation one time where a person tried to say, "Oh, why don't you wear this?" And why don't the girl listen? Leave me alone.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Say what
She
we
said saying what means that they are not
Nope,
listening.
they ain't listening. She didn't want to hear no. Even if whatever I said after that, she didn't want to even hear it. That's exactly who she was.
Totally tone deaf, nothing.
I never forget that. Ooh.
Shoshana said it's the words. You're confused. You overreacted. Girl, come on. Okay, we just had church. Okay, we just had church. Look at Tisha. Her face just twisted. That means she about to go, oh, Lord.
You always do that. But I got no, don't even, when, what's the date? Tell me the date when the last time I did that. You say always.
Yes, yes. Oh, Shoshana, calm down. Calm down.
I was,
Not
the
that
last time I had,
serious.
you know, and they say this, like, they train us on this, the last corporate job I had, never say calm down to a person. Like, that was a word we couldn't say to our clients, like calm down, because that gets people more angry.
More angry,
We're trying
yeah.
to control their emotions and their feelings by making it seem like they're getting irate and upset, and you're not listening, and they're just expressing themselves. So yeah, I never say that word calm down. Calm down. Calm down. I don't say that word calm down.
Oh yeah, I love that part, that overreacting, or you don't know what you're talking about. You always gotta go back in the past and this, that.
You're
And you don't know.
confused.
Oh, God, I hate that.
You're overreacting. Wow. Thank y'all for sharing that. Wasn't that good, Twonta? That was good, honey. Especially LaShawn when she said, "What, girl?" That made me have a flashback, honey.
What? Oh, Shoshana said exactly. Calm down. I hate those two words. They're designed to gaslight.
Totally. That's why they tell us not to use the word calm down. That's such a gaslighting word. It really, really is. It really, really is.
Diane says, as you may know, please don't start an email conversation with that phrase. No, everyone doesn't know. I hate, you don't know what you're talking about.
I hate that when they say as mentioned previously. Like you're dumb and you didn't read the last memo and they just reminding you of. I used to hate that too. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, please don't email me conversation of that. Yes. Everything.
Yeah.
Yep.
This is awesome. This is awesome.
Yes. Said it.
Yes,
Yep.
said it. Uh-huh.
Yeah, whatever y'all triggers are, put it out there. Triggers are something that, I had to stop becoming bound to, and so reacting. Because triggers are another form of an attack, being attacked.
It is.
They're triggering you to pop off, ping, 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 and it's like you gotta know how to, when those words come up, like play those words in your mind over and over again to the point
Yeah.
where now when you're hearing them, you're all good. It's like, all right, you're just using that word to attack me. Like
Mhm.
people say,
Mhm.
well, you're faulting me for.
Yeah.
I'm not faulting you
And
for anything.
also too, I have realized for me personally, being as though this is very personal here for me,
Right, absolutely.
is that, I had to really step away from it because I was already
Right,
irritated at already because I know how he operates. I know
right,
exactly how he
right.
operates, and I know how the end result's going to be. You know, and yeah, you misunderstanding. Yeah, yeah,
Mm,
and I know I had to walk away from it because I was already annoyed, irritated,
yeah,
pissed off, all of that stuff. Oh, I hate you crazy.
yeah. I've never been called that. Mm-mm,
you know,
mm-mm.
and um because after a while, because I remember, like I said at the beginning, I took it personal at the beginning
Absolutely,
when
you're
it said
human.
that
That's one of the
was
things
my
we all gotta
fault.
be. Now, don't feel hard for yourself for being human, love. You're human.
Yeah, yeah. I'm just saying, like at the very early stage of
Right, right.
the foolishness came about, I didn't
Hmm.
understand the whole process, because
Hmm.
eventually I took it all in. It's like, oh, what did
Right,
I say? Did I do something?
right.
Did I say something wrong? And then I have to regurgitate or have to rehearse everything what I said. But then after a while, when I
Mm,
realized that this is just a repetitive, nasty habit, that this person does, that,
mm.
oh, okay, I see what's going on here. I
That's
see
a
exactly. And
habit.
then when I
Keyword
started to
habit.
really, yes, and when I really started to understand what a narcissistic person means, because I never heard of that word before. I never encountered, well, maybe I have, I just never knew there was a word
Well,
for that
that was
behavior.
my testimony. Yep.
Okay. So, you deal with people like that all the time, and you probably don't even realize that's who they are, or that's their whole demeanor. That's who they are. And they could be charming people, real good people. And not saying they're not bad all the way, because they're not, but that part about them, it ruins. It
Right.
ruins the good. It ruins the character of that person because they keep doing it over and over. And that's selfishness. That's pride. They don't care about anybody else's feelings. They're all about making sure that they don't look embarrassed, that
That's
they don't
right.
look shamed, and all of that. And that means they will put everybody in the fire
Mm.
with them.
Listen, my legs,
I'm
I'm
telling you.
literally shaking my legs right now because I can 1000% relate to that.
Yes.
Narcissistic people are very well liked.
Hmm.
If you think that narcissistic people are people that people run away from, no.
No.
Narcissistic people are very well liked. They're very good
Woo,
at
child.
playing
Great
a
charmers.
position, playing a narrative, playing a characteristic part with particular people around them. And you just
Yes.
may be the only one that they just treating like shit.
Hmm.
You just
Hmm.
may be the only one that they're manipulating and putting through hell.
Hmm.
Okay. Everyone else, when
Hmm.
you tell everybody else, oh, really? He did that? She did that? Really? Because they're very, and you made up a good point. They don't like a public display of any type of negative outlook or dialogue against them. Oh, that's a no no. They
Nope.
would easily flip the script on you and make you look like, oh, Twonta, you the crazy one, girl. You the
Flip,
one
flip,
that
flip, just like that.
you the
The
one
blink
I
of an
can't
eye.
you the one I can't talk to or go to because look how you act. See, look, you got upset. Look, right?
Okay.
They know how to play the part and play the
Yeah.
position. And you brought up another good point. For years, I didn't know what word to put down. Once I found the word, I was like, yes,
Mhm. Mhm.
yes. Oh,
Mhm.
Shoshana, so true. They're very charming. Very
Yes.
got a unique charisma.
Mhm.
They can
Mhm.
literally
Mhm.
walk into a room and just lights,
Oh
camera,
yeah,
action,
honey.
all
Oh
attention
yeah,
on
they
them.
love it. They
They're
love it.
really good at mingling and just making people feel so comfortable, so safe, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
They appear
Mhm.
helpful, absolutely, and they appear. See, Tawanta, you should have put
Mhm.
parentheses on appear. They appear helpful and intelligent because they're not really that intelligent.
Mhm.
Just
Mhm.
being honest, no shade.
Mhm. Mhm.
Okay, even with
But they
education, not
think
really that
they are.
intelligent. That they think they are, right?
They
And
think they
it's
are.
because of. But here's the thing, Tawanta, it's because of their charm and their charisma. It makes
Mhm.
them deemed as intelligent and
Mhm.
intellectual. But to be
Mhm.
quite honest, a lot of narcissistic people, no offense, do have some delays, do have some shortcomings, right? That
Right.
and you are linking up with you helps. Talk about women like us, like you and I, help them to get to, a level where they need to get to be who they are, not
Right.
be
Right.
narcissists, but be confident and sure of themselves. Maybe you helped them through college, or maybe you gave them money, or maybe you stayed home and took care of their kids so they can get through their day at work, right? But they'll
Right.
make you feel like you ain't doing shit, honey.
Yeah.
Your little bit of money, or your little bit of you sweeping the floors every day and you breastfeeding the baby, it ain't gonna mean nothing. People
Mm-hmm.
don't believe opinions about people don't believe opinions about
Opinions.
narcissistic people. Absolutely, they don't. It's not that they don't believe that. It's starting to become more known, Diane. It really is.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't until
It
the
is.
pandemic, right, Tawanda. It wasn't until
Mm-hmm.
the pandemic happened that you know narcissism narcissistic education awareness is out there. Like, there's a lady I follow. She always had a YouTube channel for years. She
Mm-hmm.
has gone up by 1 million subscribers just from March of 2020. No, not March, I'm sorry, I think it was July of 2020 to
Mm-hmm.
now,
Mm-hmm.
because people shut in the house. They were quarantined,
Right.
and,
Right.
women were dealing with,
Mm-hmm.
and men,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and children, right? Because it could be
Mm-hmm.
a mom, a husband, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That narcissistic person that
Mm-hmm.
they didn't know, they were searching for resources on help.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
becoming more. Oh, the awareness is getting bigger. Is really, really is getting bigger. And if you're on the bad end of a narcissistic person's radar, it's not.
Mm-hmm.
It's not. It's so uncomfortable. It's not easy.
Very
It's not
much.
easy. It's not
Very
easy.
much.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Great point.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's go to number two.
Let's go to number
Let's
two,
see.
y'all. Let's go to number two.
Yes, the second point that I wanted to share with you guys.
And
Um,
one thing I have to tell you guys, for those of you
sure.
who are dealing with a spouse, a relative, whoever who is narcissistic, get inside of our sister to sister connection community. Tawanta and I both can absolutely relate and understand exactly every single thing you're going through. I have literally pulled up in the Walgreens driveway several times, had conversations with Tawanta on the phone, crying, screaming, everything, dealing with the things that I've dealt with, situations like that. So we totally completely understand, what you're going through. So reach out to us. That's what I'm saying. The reason why I'm saying this is because you need to connect with other women and other people who
Mhm.
can support you, that's outside your bubble. Because you
Mhm.
may be in a situation where your family don't understand, like, why are you mad? Why are you upset with this person? They're great to me. They're working hard. They're doing this and that and the third. And you're like, wait a minute, but I'm not being treated right. I'm not being heard.
Yeah.
I'm not being considered. I'm being manipulated. I'm being emotionally abused, because that is abuse. That
Yep.
is abuse.
It is.
I used to think that, abuse was walking around with a black eye, somebody hitting you, right? This is why narcissists get away with what they get away with, because they're not physically hurting you, but they're mentally and emotionally hurting you. And
Yep.
that's even
And
worse.
that's
This is as
worse.
bad as them raising
It
their hand to
is.
you, right? Yep,
It is.
absolutely. Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay, let's get into the second point. Go ahead.
Yeah. The second point, ladies, is don't accept their invitation when you
Hmm.
were not invited in the first place.
Right. Don't let them
Okay.
bait you. Don't let
Yeah.
them bait you.
Don't
That's where
let
the
them
triggers
bait
come
you.
in.
Come
Go
on
ahead.
with it. Yeah, no, you're right. Don't let them bait you.
Mm-hmm.
Don't, listen to, what you may ask, like, why are you doing this, or what's going on, or whatever. And then they explain to you, and then they expect you to basically take that invitation or take that bait and, just again, support them, because
Right.
if you don't like, you know, um, respond in a supportive way, then they take it personal and think it's an
Right.
attack. They were
Right.
like, well, you don't support me anyway. You always
Mm,
turn me down and you don't
mm,
believe in me. And, da, 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 da. And it
mm.
has nothing to do with that. It's your presentation. It's how you abruptly do things without consulting first. But yet you want to have an adult conversation. Yet you
Mhm.
want this communication to go 24/7 or
You
just
want respect.
you want
Mhm.
respect, but yet you go
Mhm.
ahead and disrespect me or anybody else,
Right.
but
Mhm.
yet you want me to condone that behavior.
Exactly.
I can't do that. I can't do
Yeah.
that because
You
again, you
can't.
played me once, you played me twice. I'm not doing this again. I can't deal with that anymore because
That's
I
right.
know exactly how this is going to
You know
end.
it's going to end up. And if there is a time where you do take the bait, guys, because you're human, you're a human being, and there's times
Yeah.
where it is just too much. It's just too much. And it's just too overwhelming. And as you are expressing yourself, you're being told all these untruths about yourself, and it's getting you
Hmm.
more and more angry and upset and stressed out. And if you do take a break, understand that you are human, and just, have your coping mechanisms to get you to a point where you are calm. It could be your watching your favorite show. It could be you chatting with your girlfriend on the phone. Like, do something that takes your mind off of the situation. Because the more you
Mm-hmm.
meditate on it, the more upset and angry you're going to get. Because you can't change anything about the situation. What's done is done.
Yeah.
Really, it's
Yeah.
about, well, what is your next step, and what are you going to do after, to first calm
Mm-hmm.
yourself down, get yourself into a tranquil, spiritual, positive state,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm reading this, I'm doing this plan on anxiety right now, and one of the things it says is that when you're feeling anxious, when you're feeling stressed and upset and depressed, you gotta, bring it to God, pray on it,
Absolutely.
meditate on it. It actually tells you to uh, uh I forgot the exact word, but it's like propel onto God. Like, when people used to pray, they used to stretch out their hands and lay on the floor and
Mm-hmm.
pray. And I'll
Mm-hmm.
be
Lay
honest, when I
prostrate.
pray like that, honey,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, prostrate,
Mm-hmm.
baby, I feel so spiritually connected that it's like
Mm-hmm.
crazy,
Mm-hmm.
where you just
Mm-hmm.
like, just pouring your tears onto it, because it's hard. It's
Mm-hmm.
hard.
Mm-hmm.
It's really hard when you are, dealing with all this, especially now. It's hard. We
And let me
understand.
give you guys an example, just in case if you don't really understand this
Go ahead.
point. Okay, now I'm going back maybe, give or take, maybe 8+ years ago,
Hmm.
where, we came home from church and, me and the girls sat down in the living room watching television where, Mr. I'm gonna call him Mr., but Mr. went on, went walking back and forth,
Right.
getting, changing clothes and stuff, and he was straightening stuff out. When he started straightening things out, straightening up the kitchen and stuff, I'm like, what is he doing? Because he
And don't
normally don't
clean
do
up. Never
that.
clean up before
Okay.
consistently.
So I'm like, something's going on. And then maybe about 20 minutes later, I hear the doorbell. And I'm like, who is that? And
Oh,
then when I turn around, he comes, he brings people comes in. It's this lady and a man. And I'm like, well, who the heck are they? And then he introduces me to this person. This is the lady, that's coming with the car. What car? So I'm like totally like clueless. So basically, this is what I mean by the invitation, when you were not invited in the first place, but yet he still wants you to be partaker of this whole situation.
uh-huh.
And so with that, they sit down at the table because she had the deed to the car, and that was her brother or whatever.
Oh,
um
that happened to me.
yeah, and he got the car from Craigslist. You remember Craigslist?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
and I remember him telling me things like that about, because we were looking for a car, because of course this is probably like a year after when the economy crashed.
yeah,
And a lot of
yeah.
the jobs, there's big threes were on the news and all that stuff like that.
Right,
He was one
right.
of those people that got terminated right on the
Hmm.
spot. And of
Right.
course they took the cars away, that kind of thing. So yeah, he was looking for cars, and I get that, but he never finalized it with me.
On
He
the
did
final
show
decision,
me,
he
right, he
includes
did
you.
show me the car
Hmm.
he was looking at, but he never
Right.
came to that conclusion. He never said, okay, but you know what, I'm going to go ahead and call this person and we could go ahead and get this thing together. Never happened. So that's what I mean. It was blindsided kind of situation, and it was very poorly done, because
Yes,
I
it
just
will.
knew, and that car was a pain in the behind. That's what
Right,
I'm talking
right.
about again, collateral damage. Because
Yep.
again, every time somebody does stuff abruptly without really, thinking and really doing it right, you best
Hmm.
believe it's going to fall apart, whatever
Yes,
it may be. Okay, so that's what I mean about don't accept the invitation when you were not invited in the first place. Meaning that
that's
don't
right.
accept, wait, they put you in this position, but they never talked about it. They never,
Exactly.
say what's your opinion. Let's
Hmm.
agree on this or let's disagree
Hmm.
on that. That's what I
Hmm.
mean by that. So I hope I
Right.
explained it right.
No, you absolutely did. You absolutely did.
Yeah.
That's a perfect example of just the hypocrisy that happens a lot of times with
Mm-hmm.
people who just like outwardly wants to just do whatever it is they want to do, and then you catch the grunt end of it. You and I are just, genuine people that wouldn't do that, that really respect and appreciate people's opinions so much that we want to include them and invite them along the journey with
Mm-hmm.
us, because so that way we're both committed, and when situations like that happens, that one thing that you and I don't like, and those of you who are in the audience, you're probably the same way too. You don't like that imbalance. It's like, wait a minute, things are
Yeah.
not in harmony, and you're rocking the boat right now, and it doesn't
Mm-hmm.
need to be rocked. You're so
Mm-hmm.
into
Mm-hmm.
doing what it is that you want to do so bad that you're leaving me out of the equation, but then wondering why I'm acting the way I'm acting all the time, you
Right.
know? And
Yeah.
that's where the
Exactly.
trust goes out the window. If I don't feel
Thank you.
trust and safe, don't get upset that I'm always questioning and thinking things and wondering what I'm wondering. You
Mm-hmm.
set broke that trust. I do not like we can agree to disagree. Oh, I don't like that either.
It
It solves
solves
nothing.
nothing.
It makes
Yeah.
it makes it seem like you are the problem. Absolutely. You're not the
Wow.
problem, ladies. You're not the
No.
problem. You're not the
No.
problem at all.
Mm-mm.
Don't let
Mm-mm.
nobody put that on you. The
Mm-mm.
one who's causing the problem making telling you you're the problem. Number one, that makes no sense. And if you believe in that, then you got to really, really build up your personal common sense, because narcissistic people will definitely tarnish your common sense
Yeah, Lord.
and make you throw that out the window to the point where you're just drinking whatever juice they pouring in your mouth. You know what I'm saying? Where
Mm.
you're like, wait a minute, no, uh-uh,
Yeah.
uh-uh. The
Mm-hmm.
sky is blue. You're not going to tell me it's red today.
Right.
It's not going to happen.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
Let's
ladies, also put also share with us,
yeah.
where you have been in that kind of situation, what I just shared with you,
And how
where
did it
you
make you
believe,
feel? I
yeah,
think
how did
that's
that
true
make you
too.
feel
We need
when
to
you
start
was
putting
just,
our yeah,
hmm,
yeah.
yeah, go ahead, babe. Go ahead.
We need to start putting our feelings, identifying them, and putting those out on the table.
Mm-hmm.
Like I used to say, I feel worthless when I was going through my tough
Mm-hmm.
situation with my particular person. I feel
Mm-hmm.
worthless. I feel alone. And I had to tell
Yeah.
myself, I'm not worthless. Look at
Mm-hmm.
me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not alone.
Mm-hmm.
I got my kids. I
Mm-hmm.
got God.
Mm-hmm.
I would never be alone. It's
Mm-hmm.
impossible. And
Mm-hmm.
really looking at
Mm-hmm.
that individual and saying, wow, they
Mm-hmm.
probably had a crappy ass upbringing. And instead of
Mm-hmm.
breaking that curse, they decide to create a new one.
Exactly.
So guarding my children is so important with
Yes.
that. If you have children or have family members who's around the vicinity of this individual, is now you need to monitor what you know how they act and react to
Mm-hmm.
each other, to you, because I think that's what we have to do as moms. Some of these people have parents that condone all that stuff,
That's true.
right? I was looking at the guy on Married to Medicine Huntsville, and the guy that cheated on his wife, and I'm like, he's a true, like, if you ever want to see a actual true narcissist like on television, that's him.
Mm-hmm.
He fits all
Mm-hmm.
the parameters. And his mom got on the episode, and when I saw her, I'm like, oh wow, she like
Yeah.
put the gasoline on that. And
Wow.
that's just how they interact and engaged. I could just be like, wow,
Ooh.
you know it's quite
Yeah.
sad. Go ahead, sis. Go ahead, love.
No, I mean, I just wanted to share with you guys that, when you deal with people like that, you got to understand that there's a lot of insecurities going
Oh, a
on.
lot. Tons.
It's
Tons.
that's the bottom line. A lot of insecurities,
They're
a lot
way
of
more insecure than
rejection.
you would ever be.
Yes.
Let me say
Mm-hmm.
that.
Mm-hmm.
Way more. It, not only are
Mm-hmm.
they extremely judgmental because they want to put others down around them or make other people seem uneducated and silly,
Yeah.
to boost themselves up. That's why I say a lot of narcissistic people are not that very well educated.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you got to put other people's down to make yourself feel good,
Mm-hmm.
come on now. You
Mm-hmm.
know,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Yeah, and we as women, uh we have been dealing with this for such a long time because it's in
right,
our family line. Like I said earlier, I said I found
yeah,
out, the history on my side of the family,
oh
on my
yeah,
mom's side of the family, and it
yeah,
began with my grandmother, and I
yeah,
never knew the whole story about, how she got that stroke, and I found out
right,
how,
yeah,
because my grandfather was a jerk.
yeah,
Period. I
yeah,
mean, he just,
absolutely.
I mean, every single one of the women,
It's a
went
learned
through hell.
behavior. It's not
Yeah.
something that you're born with. You
No, no.
channeled that and learned it for somebody for so long
Yeah.
that you picked up on it, and you're not. And as you come into adulthood, you're not trying to find a better way to treat people. You just find people who are going to be willing to deal with that narcissistic trait of yourself, and you just pass it
Yeah.
on to your kids, and they pass it on to their children. It just keeps going and going and going. It's such a learned
Exactly.
behavior. It really, really is.
It
You
is.
know?
It is. And and you hear the history of, what our women or our mothers or aunties or sisters or whatever has gone through,
Right.
but at the end of the day, you like, but they were so resistant. You know, I mean, I'm
Yeah.
sorry, resilient. You know,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
resilient, so
Yeah.
strong. You know,
Yeah.
because you you now you understand why they
You
say
understand,
certain
because
things. Or
you can physically live with somebody who's like that
hmm
and be totally fine on the top of your game. It's
yeah,
just you first
yeah,
have to identify, control
exactly.
your triggers, and still
hmm
create your own reality. You know,
Yeah,
like if that person does get into their little narcissistic temper tantrum, you're like, all right, well, boy, go sit down somewhere. Listen,
hmm
I'm
hmm
going to the party. Okay, if you
hmm
home when I get here, then hey, if you're not,
yeah,
okay.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
you can physically live with that person. It's just
hmm
you gotta, like you
hmm
said, build up that resilience.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think through the process of time, with all of us that have experienced all these different events in our lives, how it really strengthened,
It does. It. I
the
have to
women.
honestly. That is so true. I'm
Yeah.
glad you brought up that point.
Yeah, it strengthens, the true women of who we are.
Yeah.
We don't cave in. We didn't quit.
Nope.
We fell down a couple of times on our knees or whatever, but we found a way how to really evolve.
It helps you gain confidence
Yeah,
and trust yourself. And I think that's the
exactly.
biggest
Yeah,
thing, especially for me. I had such a mistrust of myself that going through the experience that I've gone through allowed me to trust me and say,
right.
listen, I got this. It's like, if
I
I
got
got
it.
through that, I can get through this, child. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
and
yeah,
allow me to identify other narcissistic people in my business that I've done partnerships with. I'm like, oh girl, she is a narc.
Ooh, yeah.
Okay.
hmm
You'll find ways to get through it. But yeah.
You do find ways to get through
Mhm.
it, absolutely. And that's why I say, for me, I've come a long way,
Yes, you
and it's
have.
only by
You
God's
have,
grace, of
Twonta.
course.
I want you to give
You know.
yourself more credit because you absolutely have. And
hmm
everything is in God's plan. You just
Oh yeah,
give it to God, and
yeah.
because end of the day, even the narcs are still child of God. You just got to pray for them, child, and just say, "Listen, God, whatever
Mm.
it is, let it be, let it be. But help me, Lord, to just I used to pray to God and be like, Lord, please don't, please, Lord, let me get through not picking up that broom, honey, picking up frying pan,
Girl.
honey. I got some hot oil grease on the stove. Please, God. Please, God, please. I listen. I could be in prison right now. All the thoughts I have in my
Okay.
head. I'm talking about in the county. I'm talking about what is it, the top, whatever the top, where they have the guns on the tower, honey. You go
Yeah.
across the gun lines, pop, pop, pop. That could have been me. I've been there, honey. You snap,
Ooh,
honey. It's like,
girl.
listen, honey.
Okay.
He was
Ooh. I'm
shoot.
telling you,
I had a
nobody
great
but the
great aunt that
angels.
did that, honey. Blew her husband. He was sitting watching TV. She blew the back of his head off, honey. I mean, that's a trait in me. I'm like, oh, I'm watching television. Like, what did he do? That was his day, honey. That she had time that day. That's why I tell people, y'all people out
It's
there, y'all
funny.
be careful how y'all treat people because you can trigger. Listen,
That's a
let me
trigger.
shut up
No pun intended, but
before
that's a
I get
trigger
this
right there.
channel blocked. Honey, listen.
hmm And that also has you to really think too, when you see or hear the stories of women that are unfortunately that are in prison, and you
Yeah,
hear their story of the torture and the torment that they experience with their significant other,
absolutely. There's a
and
lot.
it's
Yeah,
a lot, and they
it
tolerated
is.
so much, not to justify why they did it, but at the
Yeah, we're
same
not doing
time,
that.
not,
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? But then again, you still question that. Was it justifiable? Because you really
yeah.
don't know how that other person was. They were mentally and verbally abusive, but then again, eventually that can expand to physical abuse eventually,
Exactly.
you know?
Even before that, I worked in a mental health sector where it was like we had clients that were born with no traits of any diagnosis, and they get into a relationship and dealt with an emotionally abusive person, and they snapped, and
Mhm.
they ended up into the
Mhm.
psych ward. You know what I mean? They had that
Mhm.
moment where like their brain could only take but so much. Still water holds secrets, honey. That's what I'm saying, Shoshana, honey. People don't know.
Yeah.
People don't know. You got to treat people. You got to treat people good. You just
Yeah,
have to.
Lord.
You
You
have
have
to
to. You have to.
get
Yes.
you
What's
around a
point number
circle of
3?
women that's going to cover you, pray over you, support you.
Yeah.
things like that. Get in your safe place, whatever that is.
Yeah. And I'm hoping
Take-
this is blessing you ladies tonight. I really, really do. And those who are watching this replay, if you will, I hope this is really helping you to understand, what's going on in your personal life and or
right.
professional life with people
Amen.
that have been doing these certain tactics or whatever you want to
Absolutely.
call it.
Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah.
praying that, this is helping you to see things from a different perspective, but to also
Right.
realize that you are not the problem.
You're not
You are
crazy.
not the problem.
You are
Okay.
worthy. You
You
are
have every
special.
right. Yep,
Yeah.
exactly. You have every
Yeah.
right to ask questions if you don't understand why the person's doing what they're doing. And you also have every right to, bring your point or your suggestions. And even they
Absolutely
may
right.
not like it, I don't care. You have that right,
Yeah.
because you know that there's another way. There's a better
Yes,
way.
absolutely. You're right. And it's like you got to tell yourself constantly, like, okay, whatever this person's saying about me, let me focus on what God's saying about me. I
Mm.
think that's so important. That's something that has helped me a lot. No matter what this person was saying about me,
Mm-hmm,
what is
mm-hmm,
God saying about me?
mm-hmm,
I'm not,
mm-hmm,
God is not
mm-hmm.
saying that I'm angry. God is not saying that I'm crazy, that
Yeah.
I'm, confused.
Come on.
You know, He's not saying that about me. So
There's a
that's what
lot of
you have
sisters
to tap
thinking that
into.
about
Yeah,
themselves
they
because
are.
of what that person has been saying about
And
them or
it's
at
making them
them.
insecure. And then it's like, well,
Yeah.
where did that come from? Like, there's no
Mhm.
factual truth that you are those things. It's just
Mhm.
what that person is putting on you. I know
Mhm.
LaShawn, she's on here. We just had a meeting. She was like, people used to tell her, "Oh, you're mean." That's what they used to say to her. And I was like, that's their, insecurities. They're putting it on you. Maybe you stand up for yourself and they're like, oh, I don't do that. I wish I was like you. I wish I could stand up for myself and tell it
Mhm.
like it
Mhm.
is.
Mhm.
Instead, they say, you're mean. You're mean. You're
Mhm.
mean. You
Mhm.
know?
Mhm.
Let's
Mhm.
get into the third point because we're going to get into in the news and then we're going to jump into the giveaway and then we're going to go into our afterglow.
Yes. Yes. So our third point tonight, this is the last one, ladies. So don't be
Last
included.
one.
Don't be included in their own conversation when there's too many holes in their truth. Okay.
Girl.
And what I mean by that is, they're talking and they just, fabricating some things, or they're making that conversation or making themselves a little bit more upscale than they
Oh,
really,
yeah.
really are.
Over
And,
gratification.
oh yeah, honey, and so you don't want to be included in that because they expect you to agree what they're
Uh huh.
saying.
Uh huh.
They expect you to
100%.
support what they're saying, but deep
100%.
down, that ain't true. Like, why are you saying
Yep.
that? That ain't happened.
Yep.
You wrong. That wasn't right. But and they get upset, of course.
Yeah.
But sometimes for those women who have not experienced
Ooh.
this type of behavior before, you fall prey to that. You fall victim to that, right? And you're like, oh yeah, yeah, he's right, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, I remember, yeah, he did, yeah, and darn well he ain't telling you the truth. There's too many holes in that truth. There's too
Too
many
many
holes.
holes.
Right. And then
Yes,
eventually after a while, you got to be careful with that because that's dangerous. That is
it is
dangerous
very
because guess
dangerous.
what? Eventually that truth will come out about that
Right.
person. And then that when they find out about the truth of that person's not being honest, then they're going to look at you.
Yep.
They're going to look at
Yeah.
you. Again, collateral damage. They're going to look
Collateral
at you.
damage. Yep.
Right, because you sat there and you went right along with them, so they're gonna assume like, oh, he's a liar, she a liar too, because they sat there
I
together.
had a I had a family member that was like that. I never forget.
Wow.
And I don't want to say exactly what happened because just in case they watching this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And they wanted me to, like you said, collaborate on a lie. And I looked at it and to help another person, cope through. And I looked at that other person. I said, I'm not co-signing on that at all.
Woo! That's a good one.
Okay, I'm not co-signing on that. That is not what the situation is.
Woo!
That is not. This is what the situation is, and you're just gonna have to deal with it. You're just gonna have to get through it. Some way because they wanted to hide something that they did not want that person to reveal or to see. I was like, I'm not co-signing on that. You're not gonna, you could be dead and gone, and I'm the one that has gonna have to deal with the aftermath of all that situation. And plus, it was just weird. This whole situation was weird. I just felt like I ain't gonna be,
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you about it, in the afterglow. But
Yeah.
this is not recorded, you know. But
Mm-hmm.
that really got out. Not only was I totally bothered by that, I was angry. I was like, how dare you? You know,
Yeah.
how freaking dare
Yeah.
you? You know, oh,
Yeah.
Mavina is sister to sister connection together, honey. To get hashtag sister to sister connection together. Um, yeah. So I totally understand this point of
Yeah.
it's their
Yeah.
own, they'll create their own reality and try
Yes.
to get you to be one of the
Yes.
characters inside of it. And trust and
Mm-hmm.
believe, honey.
Mm-hmm.
We're
Oh
not
yeah.
we're not creating no fairy tales over here. You
Oh
listen.
yeah. It's like you've been blindsided. You've been blindsided because
Yeah.
you're standing there and you're smiling and you're listening, and then they go ahead and say something, and then you play what?
Wait a
You know,
minute.
it's
Like
where is he
I'm
coming
going
from?
in the back seat. Like what you say?
Okay.
What? Wait. Let me pull the van over. What the fuck are you talking about? Let me start driving before I go over this
Okay.
ditch right
Okay.
now. What? I don't want to hear. I'm not co-signing. Nope. Get mad at me if you want to. Never talk to me again. Cause you's crazy.
Woo!
You is
I'm telling you, y'all. And I think all of us have been in that situation. I
child.
don't care
Listen.
who that person is. I don't care if it's relative. I don't care if it was spouse. I don't care if it was your mama. I don't care. You all been in that kind of situation and conversation. It could be a family outing, and you have somebody in your family that likes to over fabricate, over dramatize some things,
Make
and
up
then
a
they
whole
expect you
story
to agree to honor the
and
half
get mad
truth.
at you when you don't. Get mad
Okay.
at you.
They're
It's
like,
like no.
you know, I'm telling you, what's wrong with you? Why you not saying nothing? Why you not saying? Cause you lying. Because that's it. You lying. But some people don't want to, expose expose them like that. But if you've
Yeah.
been doing this way too long and you
Uh,
know the aftermath of how this works, you don't care no more.
but just imagine, though, Toronto, like real talk, like how many families do co-sign on that, and they
Ooh.
co-sign on a lie. And I shared one situation with you with my grandmother
Mm,
and my grandfather, where they co-sign on a lie, and it's like that's just normal. Okay, yeah, well, you know,
mm-hmm,
yeah, like, and
mm-hmm.
it's not normal. That was one of the curses of my family. It's like that dishonesty of just saying, okay, we're just not going to tell. We're not going to. I'm snitching, honey. Listen, don't rob no bank with me because I'm gonna catch that plea, honey. I'm like, yes, it was
Let it go.
me. Huh? Yeah. You want to know what happened from 4 a.m. to 1 o'clock in the morning? Yes. And they were talking about your
Mm-hmm,
mama. Mm-hmm.
mm-hmm,
I'm
mm-hmm.
gonna tell it all, honey. Mm-mm.
Yes, yeah. You
I'm gonna
have to.
vomit
I
it
mean,
all.
yeah, because you have to. But here's the thing too. What I've learned personally is that you know what there are other people that knew that person before you
Oh,
did,
absolutely. Yeah.
and they know how they operate.
Yeah.
So you don't have to you know feel like, oh my God, I have to stand up for myself. I mean, what you do. I'm not saying not
Yeah.
to, but
Yeah.
sometimes you like in a rock in the hard place where you don't
Right.
know how to respond to it. But there's people that's in that circle, they know this person, they know how this person can be a little bit out
Right.
upscale,
Right.
and they will probably say to you on the back end, it's like, I
Like
got it,
just
don't worry about it.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is what they do, don't take it
Yeah.
personal,
Yeah.
or what have you,
That's
so
very rare. That's a rarity for that to happen. I mean, for the
yes.
most part, you don't really get that. But again, it's you having that courage in yourself to say, "Listen, I'm not going to, you know, be a character in this story. I'm not going to be the one that falls because you're going to be the one that's going to fall in the holes. Just like there's too many holes, you're going to be that one that falls right in the hole and go pretty far. And they may survive from this while you looking like the bad guy,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep.
right? Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So that's, and it even goes down to where we feel like we need to protect, these emotional abusers. And then when we get to a point where enough is enough, people are like, wait a minute, didn't y'all say y'all was in love and y'all was this and y'all was
Mm-hmm.
that? And
Right.
so that's what I'm saying. Our feelings as women is so important that we have to tap into, identify, and confirm,
Yeah. Yeah.
and not allow the manipulation of others to change it.
And also too, and this
Right.
make it personal. Like that
Yeah.
person has a conversation with you, and he or she says certain things you know,
Right.
and they say it, but their actions has
Prove
holes.
something different.
You know,
Yeah.
so the actions it speaks
Yeah.
differently than what you
Yeah.
are saying.
That's
You
a
know.
term for that. I can't remember what it is, but it is a term for that. But yeah, that happens a lot with
Yeah,
those
yeah.
type of individuals.
Especially in those
Happens a
type of
lot.
relationships, an intimate
Right.
relationship in
They don't
particular.
follow through. And they say they're
They don't.
very good. They're wordsmiths. They're very good at
Mhm,
getting knowing what the right things to say to like get you to a point where you're like, okay, yeah, we're gonna do this.
mhm.
You know, next week is a different story. You're getting a totally. I think there is I mean, I'm not a doctor or anything like that, but I feel like
Yeah.
there is traits of bipolarism when it comes to that. It's like, wait a minute, you were one way on Tuesday, and now Wednesday you're like, wait a minute, what
Girl,
happened?
ooh, Lord,
Okay, you
been
know,
there,
did the
done that.
matrix on me,
Yep,
and I don't
yep,
understand who am I talking to
yep,
today,
yep.
which or split personality. Like I think it's a mixture of both bipolarism, split personality. Because I've seen
Mhm,
people who are like that. That's why I worked in like
mhm,
8 years,
mhm.
with all types of diagnosis. So
Yeah,
I've been there. We're like, hey
right.
Leticia, how you doing? And next thing you know, they're getting like a shampoo bottle, like the next day, I'm like, wait, what? You just say
Yeah,
hi to me this
and
morning.
that messes with that person, especially a woman that that
Oh
has
yes, it
that has
messes, it F's
committed.
us up, Twanta. It
Yeah,
really does.
it does,
Because
especially when
we
you have
trust in
invested
people's
everything.
feelings.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And you like, okay, well, okay, that he's coming in, gonna be in a good mood and everything, and he come in and he just like a storm that is unexpected. Like you didn't, you heard on the news it's gonna be sunny, but all of a sudden you get this torrential rain, this lightning,
Girl,
and that
hurricane
person comes
coming
in
in,
and
they
they don't
just
want to.
spinning.
Yeah. And you like, well, what's going on? Like
What
yesterday, you
happened?
were in a good mood. What's
Are you
up?
okay? And you,
You know?
oh,
And that does something to that person.
girl,
I'm
yes, it
telling you.
do.
Because you don't know. And then if you have
Ugh,
kids, and especially if they're young too, I'm telling you what I know. I'm not trying to sugarcoat because a lot of
yeah,
sisters are experiencing this today.
yes, they
A
are.
lot of people have experienced and they still having that residue of memories of that stuff. That's why a
Right,
lot of sisters are not able to have solidified relationships today because they
exactly.
still dealing with the torment of what that Negro did the last time.
Yes, and you
For
can't
real.
have a healthy relationship with another person. You got to just realize that that person has issues that they don't want to resolve or get help for. Because there is help for those of
Because
you out
first you got to
there.
get help for yourself. You
Exactly.
know,
Focus
and
on
that takes time.
you. Become
Yes.
selfish. I mean
Right.
that has helped me tremendously because we're so
Yes.
hard on thinking about others, and by default we put ourselves in the back of the seat, and we don't even care for our own, self care. Or this is why we do self cares every month, guys, for you
Mhm.
guys to get you
Mhm.
right back to you.
Right.
We do makeup and all that stuff. You may not wear makeup, but honey, get yourself some lipstick and some mascara, honey, and just
It's such a
feel
release.
confident.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just a release. It just makes you look at yourself differently than how
Mhm.
you used to look at yourself. But you didn't look at yourself based on your understanding. You looked at yourself based on what that fool said about you.
Theirs. Yes.
Okay, because
Yes.
y'all still carrying that. Y'all still looking at yourself in a
Amen.
negative way because
Mhm.
what that person been saying to you 10 years, what
Amen.
you 10, 20 years, or whatever. I'm telling you, I know what I know because I experienced it and my family has experienced this thing, man. And it has really messed up a lot of women's life where they can't go forward because of this stuff, because of this foolishness. And we have to really stand strong. And that's why we have this sister to sister connection because, you can't do it alone. We stand on each other's shoulders, because when one feels weak, we are able to carry that person because that person has that strength because they survived it. They know your pain, they know the challenges, they know what you're feeling. You know what I'm saying? So this is the opportunity. That's why I said, ladies, don't be so quiet about this whole situation. Just vocalize it. And we're going to talk more, especially on the afterglow,
Yeah.
and to become even more personal,
Let's
right?
get into it, y'all. Listen,
Yep.
let's get this. Oh, let's do what's news. Let's do. I'll pull
Oh,
that up,
yeah.
Trees. What's news? So I don't have anything to mention. I know you have something Let me just pull it up here
Yeah,
to
let me
talk
pull
about
it up
while
real
I'm
quick.
pulling it up.
So,
Go ahead, get started, love, while I'm pulling it up. I have the link right here. I'm pulling it all up.
yeah,
Ooh,
so this is about
let's
Black women
see.
entrepreneurs qualify for $10,000 grant to grow businesses, to grow
Ooh,
business. And of course, this is Black History Month, ladies. So what I said, why not just start this off like now for us sisters to give them, something to really think about. For those of you who probably been wanting to start a business, but you really don't know how to get the thing going, how to get it started, and all those things. So this article is very, very straight to the point. It tells you exactly how this works and all of those things. And they are offering 15 $10,000 grants to Black women entrepreneurs to grow their businesses. So I mean, there's so many other nuggets in this article that I definitely want you ladies to go ahead and take an opportunity just to read about it, because of course we always say that we want to start a business, but we don't know where we get the funds or where we get money. And this is free. This is a grant, so this is free money. This free
that's
money,
right.
y'all. This is free money. So any of you who have been thinking about starting your own business, or you probably have started already, but you just started kind of small, but yet you really want to expand, maybe this could be your answer to your prayers right now.
Right.
You
One
know.
of the things that we as Black women struggle with, and I've been saying this for years, is capital.
Hmm.
Having that money freed up so that we can invest in ads, so that we can invest in, an OBM or a project management team and a CRM and things like that. And you know, it's hard for us to grow at times because yeah, we may be getting in clientele, we may be making sales, but it may not be enough to pay someone $7,500 to set up your ads and put them on autopilot and things like that, or even pay for events. Like those of you who want to do in-person events are very expensive. You don't make your
Hmm.
money back until after the event, or if you're selling on stage. So grants are a great way. The reason why I'm always leaning towards grants versus loans, because
Hmm.
loans you got to pay back,
Yep.
and the interest rates can be so high, it's gonna,
Hmm.
sometimes loans puts us further in debt because you don't
Yeah.
know if one month your business is going to reach a certain figure and then the next month it could dip, so there's no, and plus it's harder these days, especially for us Black women, to get a loan at times, so with
Right.
grants it's like you don't pay that, but you don't pay that money back. It's money that is granted to you. And I
Hmm.
always tell my clients to look at all options of your financial portfolio. If you want to do both, I have some clients that do both. They get grants and they get loans. You know what I'm saying? Or I have
Hmm.
clients that just choose either or. But again, having money readily available to where if you have a project coming up, a launch coming up, and you need all corners of your launch in order for it to be successful, like you may be working on a business where yeah, you have the website up, but how are you investing in building traffic towards the website so that people can buy, right? Or you may have your ad set up, but you need to pay somebody to actually write your copy for your email, right? So all
Hmm.
these things have to be connected in order to create a successful launch and a successful business. So this is why, because we don't have capital, what I mean by capital is a lot of other nationalities, they may have family that's backing them, right? There's one lady that I follow where she is a Black girl, but she's married to a Jewish white man. I'm like, girl, listen,
Hmm.
he
Hmm.
he flipping them bills on them banning videos, honey, and them events. I know what it is,
Yeah.
but not all of us have that option of somebody who's 100% in support of what we're doing and is willing to say, hey, I'll throw a couple of $1,000s to support your dream, right? To
Hmm.
support your passion.
Hmm.
It's very
Hmm.
rare, to
It's
have that.
very
I
rare.
only know one person, like, and there's
Yeah.
so many women that I know, right? Only one person I know that has that they can literally say, hey, I want to do an event in New York City, and bam, they got somebody writing the check. But and there's
Hmm.
nothing wrong with that if you do have that. I don't want
Right.
to come on here and have people feel bad for having someone who supports their business. I'm just saying that for those of you who don't have that, there are resources out there. There's resources out there, especially for us Black women. So don't automatically feel that you can't get grants. Like I know that happens sometimes where
Yeah.
people say, well, I'm a new business. Hello, there's tons of grants for women who are just startup
Hmm.
businesses that
Hmm.
where people are
Hmm.
giving grants to that. to Black, female entrepreneurs who are just getting started, and
Mhm.
there's grants where they need to see that your LLC has been active longer than 2 years,
Mhm.
right?
Right.
So there's
Exactly.
there's hundreds
Yeah.
of thousands of grants out there. You just have to do your research as an entrepreneur to get them and fill out those applications. That's another thing, that another barrier for us. We don't want to sit and fill out anything. Even if the
Mm.
application is going to take you an hour, you're talking about 10K. You're
Mm.
talking about 15K. You're talking about what I mean. There's so many, with this particular grant is 10K. You're talking about 10K. So it's going to take you an hour to fill out
Mhm.
an application and do it. Block out that
Mhm.
time. Fill it out completely. Reread what you put in. Make sure you sound professional and articulate. Don't have that misconception that, oh, they're not going to give it to me, because I'm Black, or because I don't know what I'm doing, or whatever the case may be. Still get out there and fill these grant applications and get your
Yeah.
money.
Yeah.
Get your money.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And with this program, or I would say with this, with this program, if you will, they also, are looking for women that have been doing their business for at least 5 years or so.
Right. Right.
Okay, so just like you were saying about that,
Right.
so ladies, this is an opportunity. If it's not you, maybe someone else that that has been working, their business for a while, and
Right.
this is something that definitely you cannot, close your eyes on, because
Yeah. Get into it.
this is free money.
It is.
It's free money, and the money is out there. It is
Mm.
out there. It is out there. And even if don't qualify for this or what have you, trust me,
There's
there's
tons. Go
tons
on
of
Google and
money.
type in grants for Black women.
There
But
you
female
go, for
entrepreneurs. Yeah.
minorities or what have you. And let me tell you, the percentage is very, very low for minority
Mm.
women. It is very low.
There's not
And
enough of us to want to
it's
filling
not
these apps out. This is
right.
why there's these offers out there, but there is a less than 1% of us actually will go on this website and
Yep.
fill it out.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's sad.
Mm-hmm.
We have
Mm-hmm.
to. I mean, white folks don't use their own money ever.
They
They use other
don't.
people's money
They
to be
don't.
successful, whether it be loans, whether it be grants, okay, whether it be whatever. There's a lot of poor
Yeah.
people, white people out there who started fresh, just from the concrete,
Mm-hmm.
and built themselves up self-made. But
Mm-hmm.
they did their research, they did their due diligence. It's just all about how bad do you want it and how much you deserve to have it, how much you feel
Yeah.
that you deserve to have it. So fill it out. I filled out a grant the other day. Took me almost over an hour.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
took a little break, got some coffee, whatever the case may be, and I
Mm-hmm.
got right back to it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
stop trying to build a business where you're like building it out of your own pocket. You don't
Right.
have to do that. You don't
Mm-hmm.
have to do that. Stop saying that there's no resources out there for us. There is. You just got to
There's
be willing to do
plenty.
your
It
research,
really
and
is.
then also pass it on to somebody else. That's another thing. Just like we're passing this on to you. If you got this opportunity, or if you feel like, okay, I haven't been in business for 5 years, but I know somebody who has, let me send them this
Mm-hmm.
link and say, hey, sis,
Mm-hmm.
10K, honey. You can get that
Yeah.
website going, honey. You can get
Mm-hmm.
the graphics looking like, ooh, you can get you a photo shoot, girl. Ooh, girl.
Ooh,
Branding
yeah.
film, honey. Somebody will do you all this for way less than 10K. And you'll
Mm-hmm.
have change left over. You know?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Just saying, guys, get out
Yeah.
there. Get
This is
out
the
there.
time. This is the season and the moment for you
That's
ladies
right.
to really go forward and really execute, your skills, and really enhance what you already started anyway,
Yeah.
So definitely go ahead and take the opportunity, ladies, to read this
Please do.
article. We definitely will come back with you next week, God willing, with some more what's news. We're going to get started with our giveaway now. Make sure everyone had typed in
Oh yeah,
hashtag
let's do the
Sister
giveaway, baby.
Connection. We are giving away a beautiful cup. It's a two-tone color cup. We're so super duper excited about that. So we're going to go ahead and get those names on that wheel or whatever that she got going on here. We're going to get that started. So ladies, make sure you have put your information, hashtag sister to sister
Yes.
connection in the comments. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get it started now. Let's go to
Oh yeah,
Reese.
let's do the giveaway. Uh, 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 uh. We're gonna be giving away a cup, y'all. A cute cup. Here we go. Let me show you one more
It's
time. It's
that
our
cute
cute
cup,
little.
honey.
Our
And it
official
comes in
Sister to
different
Sister
colors.
Connection cup, honey. It's pretty. Ain't it pretty?
It's pro.
Ain't it pretty? I'm gonna have all the colors up. I'm gonna make a graphic with all the colors so y'all can see all these colors. All right, let me pull this down and let Therese do her magic because I don't know how to use this whole giveaway tool. So I don't know. Therese wasn't here, honey. We be picking out of a hat. And if
Ooh,
it's
I like it. I
LaShawn this
like
week
it.
again, I'm gonna fall the hell out. I'm gonna fall out.
Yeah.
Movina, you still on here? Say something in the chat.
Awesome.
That is amazing.
Congratulations,
I had a feeling LaShawn was
Melvina.
gonna win again. I don't know. I had a funny little feeling. Wow. That are you
Congratulations,
still on
girl.
here, Movina?
Is she still here? Is
Let's see if
Melvina
she's
still
still in
here?
attendance, honey. Did she go handle them kids?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I love doing these. This is just fun. It's like
It
a
is.
lot of.
It is a lot. Yeah. Yay, Melvina.
Yeah, she won.
Awesome.
She
Awesome.
won. She
Awesome.
won a coffee cup. Yeah. And
Yes, she
listen, when
did.
you guys get these coffee cups in the mail, you better send us a picture of it so we can post it on social media.
Oh,
Yeah, where
yes.
LaShawn, when you get your t-shirt in the mail, it's gonna be sent out next week. You know, wear
She's
the
here.
t-shirt, put on. You won. You won, girl.
You gonna like that mug, honey. You gonna
You gonna
like
love
it.
that mug, honey. I'm about to order mine. I'm
And
definitely.
choose those pretty colors. I like the
Put
orange. The
Kool-Aid in
orange is
there.
my favorite.
Shoot, I'm gonna walk outside, honey, with my flip flops on, with my cup, honey. I'm like, yes. No kids today. So come to the afterglow, Movina. Come to the afterglow.
Oh yes, and I'm pretty sure Therese had put down the Zoom
Yes, put down the Zoom one more
information.
time, Therese, so everyone has it. Guys, listen, that's
Yes.
always the same Zoom that we use every single week. So make sure that you save it somewhere on your phone. So again, every time we do the show, after the show, we do the afterglow. We only on for no more than an hour. We just hang out. You could come in and come out, whatever, however you want to do it.
Yeah.
So we're gonna wait about a couple of seconds so you guys can grab that link. I hope y'all can copy and paste. I hope it is hyperlink. Good. So y'all can actually like click it now and just hang out in the waiting room, and then we're going to log on in just a second. So you can just hang out with in the waiting area, and then we can hop on. All right, Movina, just click on that link, love, and get on into the Zoom. So I see Movina. I hope you hop on. Shoshana, LaShawn,
Come on,
Diane.
Shoshana, you too, girl.
Yeah, girl. I got so excited when I saw Shoshana in my class today. Honey, I almost passed out and cried. I missed her. I missed her so bad. Therese, no, honey. I missed her, honey. We just picked up right where we left off, honey. No kids today. I love it.
So listen, y'all, we want to say thank you. I'm sorry, I didn't mean it.
Go ahead, yeah.
Listen, y'all, we just want to say thank you so much for coming and supporting us. We are so excited, and I pray that this has been a blessing to you tonight. This topic came from my heart because what I've been experiencing. But listen,
it was helpful, honey. It was so helpful.
Oh, good.
Yes.
Good. And do us a favor. If there's something that you want us to talk about in future future shows, please let us know. And especially with the afterglow, that's the perfect time to really let
us know in the afterglow.
Oh
yeah.
Yes, please, because we don't shut anything out. Help me out because I'm the content creator, but of course Leticia also comes up with some phenomenal topics too. So yeah, because we really want to broaden our mindsets and all that good stuff. So yes, guys, we will be back, God willing, next week, and we will give you some more good tips and what to do and what to do and all those things. But
we're going to announce our upcoming self-care event next Wednesday. So
yes, we will definitely. We are, because I'm still trying to come up with a idea.
Come out of that, girl, because we gotta,
get it.
That's all it is, right? So yeah, definitely join us next Wednesday because we're going to be talking about our self-care event. We're going to be doing another What's New, and let us know if y'all liked us sharing something like that. Like that what we just shared there, I think that was just definitely going to be super resourceful with the grants and things like that. But thank y'all for hopping on.
Yes. We will see you
y'all next time. I'm going to hop in the Zoom, honey. I'll see y'all later.